This is the Bar Stewards Enquiry.
Right? You're talking absolute rubbish. Absolute rubbish.
In what way?
You were an underachiever in life. I saved your bacon one time. You were gone.
You handled that well. I couldn't save you. But you did the right thing.
But that's why you don't know anything about racing, John.
I didn't say I do.
Right?
I'm saying that...
What have you contributed to racing? You're one of these take-out merchants. Take out all you can.
Hello and a big warm welcome. Yes, it's that time. It's weekend time. Bar Stewards Enquiry Weekend Podcast. What a weekend this is. 2 Irish Guineas over the weekend. The pre-Dispahan on Sunday. The Silver Bowl at the Kip in Lancashire. York, Chester. Oh, no, you're not getting there either. But going through all the best meetings and the best races will be me, John, Quentin, and Jack. Good evening, chaps.
Evening, all.
Evening, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
John's is obviously enthusiastic self after a week of heavy ground. Can't have a bet. Too many fizzy horses. This is it. This is the game that we're in now. It's a tough one, chaps. And I mean, I must confess, this afternoon, normally I'm an active player and I've had like 3 bets tops. And...
I've taken up a new hobby this week, teeth grinding.
Yeah.
I don't know how long it'll last. I'm nearly down to stubs now.
Yeah. Poor old Julie's had to announce today that they've not had a deal on the levy. So unfortunately, there's no levy deal yet for racing. Good old Julie. She knows what she's doing. Right, we'll come on to that on Sunday. We'll get the show on the road. This is what it's all about, the best bets round 1, 2 and 3 points. And we're going to start with a 1 point round. And I'm going to go to Quentin Franks.
I'm going to go to Haydock, Lee. Keep it simple, 1,500 Haydock. I've got doubts about English Oak on the ground. They pulled out on good to soft before. Given they've declared on heavy grounds, I suspect they're going to run. Seem to be taking a lot out of the market, being 2-1 favourite. A lot look at the top of the mark. Zips probably is at the top of his mark, to be honest, but there's no pace in the race. Shaped well enough here, goes on the ground. Visor back on last time out. Carried across the track, did well to come second, all things considered. It should get a solo on the front end, 1 point win, 3-1, I think. 7-2.
7-2 with Paddy's and Betfred. What a bonus.
Oh, lovely.
Brucey bonus. Yeah, points make prizes, and we certainly need them in the Naps tables this season. So, yeah, we'll take that. An half point extra for Quentin on Zip at carpet and half. Hopefully, that can do the business there at Haddock. I shall carry on the round then, and we're going to that place that John likes to bet at all the time, Goodwood, in the 130. Loves the place, does John. I am with Al-Shabaab Storm, ridden by Harry Davis. Now, the draw here is quite vital over the 7. You might have seen sort of Wild Tiger getting a lovely early position today over the 7 and bolting up. And that's where you need to be. The inside 5 stalls have such an edge. And Al-Shabaab Storm was desperate at Chester, was well bet. His form's tying in really well with one of Roger Vegetable's. This horse is way better than 90. Perfect draw. The 7 furlongs at Goodwood's an easy 7, and I'm confident he gets the trip easily. And yeah, nothing not to like. I'm going to play Betfair SP, though, for 1 point, because I think it is quite competitive, and I think you'll end up getting a similar price to what it is overnight. I think it's around 4-1, 9-2 in places. So I'll play the Betfair SP 1 point win there. John.
Believe it or not, this one's at Goodwood.
Ah!
Yeah. 3:10 race. Get Shirty.
Ah.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Nick Davis like this last time.
Yeah. Well, he suffered from a lack of pace in his races of late.
Yes.
Oh, hello. Speak up round yourself.
Doctor's surgery.
It is, isn't it? That's the kind of ringer, isn't it? Yeah.
Test results are back. Don't buy any big books. Where was it? Oh, yes. As a result of the lack of pace in these races, he's now on an extremely tasty mark. He's hopefully got some pace to run at here with the Prescott horse, and I think we'll go forward with the Balding one because it's sure to be a float up this just to blow the cobwebs off. So if Until crack on, I will possibly increase the bet in running. But for now, 1 point win.
Yeah, Nick was very keen on this up at Hamilton. We sort of said no in the end because we were worried about pace in the race, and that exactly proved point last time. So John, 11-2 for you. That's with Paddy, Sky, Betfair. You happy with that?
Absolutely super. Saves anybody opening their egg Gmail tomorrow, doesn't it?
Davis has been scuppered for his attack tomorrow. That's Davies' Boulder Yorker there. Leg stump's gone out at ground. John's took it clean out with a... It's like Malcolm Marshall. Bang. Jack, finish the round.
It's the 1:15 at Haddock, the Silver Bowl, to open the card tomorrow. And obviously they used the inside or outside track today. It's the different one tomorrow. Either
Out
way.
of tomorrow, I think.
Inside tomorrow, out of track tomorrow.
That's right. So look, there's been a lot of rain there this week, as we know. I won't go full Tony Calvin and talk about the Clarkin. I'll save that for Sunday. But we're siding with one that I think will cope in conditions tomorrow, where a few won't, and that's Happy Tim's Can Do No More. And I'm hoping this one can do some more tomorrow. I liked his reappearance run. As we know, Happy Tims tend to need the run, and he's won it's a very mediocre at best contest last time out, but he's won it in a canter, in all fairness, and he's been given a mark of 81, which I think is very favourable. I liked his juvenile form. I think he was always like the son of Almanzor out of a Fastnet Rock mare. He's always going to make a better 3-year-old, and I think they like this one from all accounts. I know Thick Dave put it up as a horse to follow. He doesn't ride tomorrow. We've got Duran in the saddle because he can only do the weight. But looking at top of the market, I think Volterra, probably a horse that would prefer better ground, drawn out in 11 as well, which won't be ideal. Blue Lemons, Hannon Yard is running like stink at the moment. I think about 6%, and I think that one's not overly well handicapped off 99. Nelly Laylak's pretty hardy 2-year-old, but that's probably about its mark on 92. So there's not loads in here. I think it's ripe for a springer, and off a mark of 81, I think we're well placed. I think this horse will be 90 plus in time, and I'm hoping that'll be realised tomorrow. I think he's a solid selection. So 1 point win, and I think 9-1 if I'm lucky.
Yep, 9-1 and 10 for you, Jacko, in a very competitive Silver Bowl, and hoping that Tim cheers up when that comes in the winner's enclosure. Good stuff for round 1, chaps. We'll begin round 2. John, I'm coming to you, please.
Well, I'm off to Salisbury. 8
Nice
o'clock. Well, so they say. 8 o'clock. Midnight Rumble. This had some forming maidens last year that worked out okay, I thought.
That's took my leg stump out.
Don't bother opening up Edge tomorrow.
Yeah.
The delayed comeback was a bit of a concern, I thought, because I expected this one to be rushed out in typical King style, probably in the first or second week of the season, and noddling up in handicap. But in defence, this one was fresh enough on debut, was pretty free going. I think with that freshness off, he should be just about cherry ripe here. And I think this race is an absolute bag of piss, in all fairness. If he drops it nicely, I'll be topping up big style in running here, because I really don't think there's a lot to beat. 2 points win.
No, and I agree with you very much, John. I think you're onto a belter there. As there's only one firm opened up, are you thinking about going Betfair SP? What do you think? 11-4, that's...
11-4?
Yeah.
I think we're hanging fire now. Betfair SP, I think.
It is King Kong at end of the day, and Dylan Hogan. Yeah, I've triggered Alexa now. Fuck off. Right.
Put the new King Kong film on.
Yeah. It's right, isn't it? Yeah, you leave these things on and they'll change your channels as we do each show. onto the set.
I watched the race the other day. Sat down, I was that shocked. I said, bugger me, and one of the springs went in. I said, hey.
I don't know why it's triggered a memory. Do you remember driving old cars and you had a pop-out CD player in your car? And it were
Yeah.
like you hit a pothole or something. And 1 minute you're listening to ABBA, next you're going round corner listening to Carpenter, like as it's jumped about 3 tracks. I mean, I don't know why I've thought of that. I'm sorry about this. I've just lost the plot there. But yes, I'll move on.
It used to happen.
He did. In fact, the technology back in there is fantastic.
It had a modest traveller. It used to bounce out a gear if you hit a fucking pothole.
Into neutral.
Off to York for mine, the 320, the Bronte Cup, and I'm very much with the shirt safety catch here. I think this horse has got a lot of progress to be had this year. It's only had the 4 runs, culminated in a nice listed win at Leafy over the winter. I thought that was a really good run, very strong on the clock. Thought Kieran Fallon that day went a little bit soon, if I'm being honest, but I really like the way that she gamely fought off Divine Jewel, who's not a bad yardstick, to be fair. And for me, the angle here is the Oppenheimers, as we know, big breeding family. That horse has already knocked off its black type, so doesn't really need to be kept in training unless the shirt's been in their ear saying, I think this one might be better than this. So bit to find off a marker 96, but I think she could be progressive. You know, there's certainly quite a few exposed types in here. River of Stars, good yardstick, won this last year. She's pretty straightforward and will probably make the running here. But you know, I think she's beatable. Gather Ye Rosebuds. I mean, you're in Yorkley, you probably know more than me, but we're probably looking at slow side of good to soft tomorrow, I'm guessing.
We've had nothing
Or
today. I think it's going to dry out to good, I think. Gather Your Rosebuds is not going to
she,
get the benefit of any
no,
sort of serious cut tomorrow. I don't
no, she'll go on it, but she's different gravy on sort of proper deep conditions. So I think you can count her out. And I don't think there's loads in here. I think this is the progressive filly to side with. I'm surprised she's as big as she is at the moment, which is sort of 9s, 10s. Well, she's 10s in a place. I know I'll be getting 2 rule books here, but even at the 7s, I think she's big, and I'd have her probably second fav behind River of Stars. So yeah, quite confident selection. 2-point win on safety catch for me.
Yep, 7-1 you get, Jack. Obviously 10-1 with the Port Vale outfit. But unfortunately, the traders are holding that one for someone else in the morning. It is what it is. So next 2-point, I'll come to me then, shall we? Leave Quentin to last. We go to a Klaxon. Yes, 3 o'clock Haydock, and Quentin knows what I'm going to say. It is, of course, Zip. There's absolutely nothing that's like Quentin's case regarding the English Oak is certainly a decent one. Obviously, he's the threat in terms of handicapping and form. And Zip wouldn't have anything under his mark, but I don't think with conditions as they are, they'll be probably still very tacky tomorrow. Zip will just go straight to the front, be very hard to pass, I think, if Mr. Orr decides to bring the field towards the stand side, leaving everyone in the speedos in the middle of the track in the closing stages. So Zip is the Klaxon bet for me as well at 7-2, 2 points on the nose, and I win more than Quentin. If it wins. So there we go. We'll move on to Quentin. Finish the round.
I'm going to go 16-10 Haydock Lee, and after the 16-10 Haydock, I expect to be singing the tokens, the lion sleeps tonight, because I fancy the Amazon in this race. I don't know how they've come to a marker 75 with the horse, to be honest. It looks absolutely lobbed in off this. You made a good point there. If they come stand side, we've seen in like the sprint races on this track that stand side normally plays at this meeting. Very, very strong on the clock last time out. Soft ground form in the book. The Newmarket run, he was strong overnight, then weak on the show. Just carrying condition, he took a massive leap forward. Physically looks like one that's going to progress. Surface, no worries. Doyle booked. At marker 75, he'll make short work of that. The 11-4 looks huge. He's probably more 6-4 shot against these. High draw to play with. Absolutely nothing not to like. 2 points win.
Odds checkers gone blitzkrieg on me.
Yeah, out of credits.
Out of credits.
I've got 6-1 showing my end.
Oh yeah, that's convenient.
5-2 now.
It's 5-2 for Quentin, 2 points. I can't even tell you the firms. What I will say is this, right? If we have any arsonists listening to the show, can you set fire to odds checkers' offices, please? That would make great news and great listening and viewing, like if that happened. So please do that. Right, on to the 3-point round. This is the round. This is where it counts. the big point stakes. Who am I going to? Oh, God, I'll kick us off. I'm taking on Jack here, and it's with the obvious one, River of Stars in the Bronte Stakes. Won it last year. The form is Ron Jeremy stuff, innit? I mean, look at it last year, really. It's gone from strength to strength. Took on the males at Long Chomps, second to the Good Man, who is a very solid yardstick. Was third to a horse called Sober the next time out, a horse that doesn't reflect my character. But nevertheless, this is very strong form. Took on the males, then she was beating that farce of a race with Sumo Sam, you can stripe that. And then doesn't miss a dance, took on Coltrane, Courage Monami and Giavolotto in the Lonsdale, where, if I'm honest, I don't think she got home against that kind of opposition over the 2 miles. And now back to this sort of level. She hasn't got a penalty or anything, so I think she's going to take the world of beating. 5-2 for moi, 3 points, 2 points on the nose. Thank you, River of Stars. John.
Right.
I thought my headset was playing up.
John's on psychiatrist couch, just sat on a whoopee cushion.
I could get done there for attempted klaxon.
Is this a second klaxon, John? I like this.
It is, I'm afraid.
Go on.
1:15 at Haddock. We know where this is, our lanes, don't we?
Do.
Can do no more.
Hey.
Think Dave's horse to follow. Was actually one of my horses to follow out of Thames after catching me eye more than once last year. And then I did note how well the horse had done over the winter when he didn't have to improve on his figures to dot up in that maiden first time up. He's got stacks more in the locker for me than 81, and unlike a show in this field, he's well proven on soft ground, both here and York, which I think both can be funny places. So when the ride's soft, so I think that's another advantage. I don't think this is terribly deep. 3 points win.
Yep, 9-1 for you as well. Some big points can be racked up here. Are you happy with Frog Eyes in the saddle, John?
Absolutely delighted. I predicted this earlier in the week when he had 7 stone summit. I said Simon Le Bon up, no problem.
Good old Duran. Right, let's hope he does the business in the Silver Cup, because that is our second klaxon of the show.
I think Dave's off to the Curragh, isn't he?
Is he riding that Art Power thing?
He is.
Yeah.
I think, Dave, you've missed out on a big paycheck there in the Silver Bowl. 51,000 to the winner. John, what's the jockey's percentage these? About 8%, is it?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Not for large, Del Duran.
4.5 large for Frog Eyes. Lovely. KFC. Massive bucket on the way, a wicked variety.
Well, he'd have been starving all week to get this, so he'll have deserved it.
Yeah, that's what he'll do. So he's starved all week.
Well, I did message him and said, don't eat fuck all after first.
Good on, Duran. You can do it. So, 2 nice klaxons there. We like it. Quentin, before I come to Jack to finish us off, here's with your rhythm stick for 3 points.
Hit you with my rhythm stick, Lee. I really fancy all of mine tomorrow, to be honest. Fancy a little treble to land. Short and sweet. The 1640 Chester horse I want to back should be fairly strong favourite against this lot is Night Eyes. They've put her in 2-1. Come from the race that Queen's Reign franked the form earlier at Goodwood today. Similar position to her, like just on the wing, there was a headwind, didn't get any cover, faded and shaped as if the run was needed. Goes on easy ground. The damn Penny Peppers out of fast company herself. She's got decent form on easy ground. Drop back to 6 furlongs. When you've got they put Al Galeem, the boarding horse, in as favourite. That needs a longer trip, and it's beaten and Passant. And Passant's a fucking hound. It's by Oasis Dream as well, and looked all at sea when on soft ground at York. Kellaway's doesn't particularly look well handicapped. Last Applause flopped on heavy ground when last on it, and not overly keen on the form of the Craig Lidster yard at the moment. Kind of thought this would be 6-5. It's 2-1, 3 points win.
Do you know, I love your reasoning there on Night Eyes, because like you said, the mother absolutely adored it. What price is it, Quentin, by the way?
2-1.
2-1. 2-1. Night Eyes, 3 points on the nose. Jack, finish us all off.
I will. You pardon the pun. Right, we're off to the 3:45 at the Curragh on Sunday, so you'll have to wait a little bit for this one. The Irish 1,000 guineas. I'm against the favourite here, and I will precursor that I do like the horse a lot, but I read between the lines with this one. We know she had a setback. I think she'd have gone to Newmarket if she didn't. Aidan's been out in the week and said, look, she's been working well, but I get the impression Ascot Coronation is D-Day, and anything she does here, she'll come on from. So look, she might be good enough to win this at 85, 90%, but I'm against her on this occasion, and I'm with the Paddy Carrots Toomey team's A Lilac Roller here. Very hard to crab a filly that's 3 from 3. In all honesty, she beat Opera Singer on debut, I believe, last year, second start even, very narrowly, but she does have that form in the book. Has come out and won probably the form race of the year when it comes to the Irish fillies. So I'll take you through this one. So Kitty Rose, who was in second, they got engaged in a very big battle at the line. John's excellent notes on Sunday. Quick plug for Patry in there, £7 a month lot. Noted that they were very strong on the pull up on soft ground, which I think is important here, or heavy ground even. She's by Harry's Angel, which wouldn't thrill you, to be fair, to get a mile, but the fact she was so strong on the pull up over 7 gives me plenty of confidence. So Kitty Rose has been sold to King Kong, so hasn't raced. Buttons in third, who was a bit of an eye catcher. She got narrowly beat by the 6th in that race, Wendler, who came out and won. Greenfinch in 4th hasn't raced. Alpharat's in 5th, won next time out, and Cherry Blossom in 7th, won next time out. So you can't ask for much more from a form perspective. This filly is, as I said, unbeaten, and I think she's been missed in the market here. I think there's negatives against the likes of Fallen Angel. Would they be coming here if Newmarket went to plan? She went off favourite for that. I don't think they'd be taking this in, and it was a bit of an unexplainable blowout, if I'm being honest. She travelled nice into the race, completely bottomed out. Couldn't be with her today. Vespertilio ran a nice race in France in the 1,000. That was a weird race, as both of them were. That was only 2 weeks ago, the day. So is she going to recover from that this quickly? I'm not sure. I'd have this Lilac Roller at least a couple of points shorter at 10s, and I don't think she's done anything wrong. So yeah, I'm quite confident on this one. It's a 3-point win on a Lilac Roller for me.
Like you say, it's already got a points decision, split decision success over Opera Singer with some Saudi Arabian scorecards.
How was that a split decision at the weekend?
Oh gosh,
fucking awful.
Well, since I backed that woman to beat Natasha Jonas, and the Betfair betting said she was like 10 on after the final bell, right? Michaela somebody or other. I'd got it, Strachan, yeah, man and her. But yeah, she was at least 5 rounds clear for me. And when they give a split decision to Jonas, I just went, boxing's just, it's worse than ever. It's WWE, the lot.
Scouse form, that one. Scouse form.
It is. It was a dreadful decision.
I thought John Fiore must have been one of the judges.
To be honest, John, he probably did. He probably went down and nutted one of the judges and told him to change that fucking card.
He'd have probably got stretched off if he'd nutted anybody, because he can't with that 14-year-old.
I think so. Good old John Fury picking on like smallest kid in the arena. Literally, like you said, the young lad didn't know what were happening. He was like,
Once he realised, though, he was taking steps forward, wasn't he, kid?
Oh, he said, "Don't you do that? They don't mess about."
The Ukrainian kid, fucking hell! I mean, they've been fighting artillery with butter knives over there.
Double hard bastards, them. You don't want to mess around.
Not going to be asked about a big fight, is he?
No, absolutely. Right, we move on from the best bets round, of course, and if you want more of us, then subscribe to Patreon, of course, because you get plenty for your dollar. You don't have to subscribe and pay big bucks for our tips in the morning, but what you can do is get brilliant content like John's articles. If you want some sultry turns, you get Jack's on Sunday morning when he's going to go through the Prix d'Ispahan in France, and you can get your croissants out and your jam and everything else. And
oui, merci.
Oui, on Sunday morning. And of course, that's for our beloved Patreon members. Thank you for your support. On to the second part of the show then, where we look at the TV action. There's certainly plenty of it. Ed Chamberlain will be waffling on like a waffly thing all day tomorrow. If you are tuning into ITV3, he'll not shut up. So there we go. We've got Haydock, Goodwood and York. And of course, the 2,000 guineas from the Curragh, which we will finish the show on in terms of preview. Right, Haydock first. And it is, of course, the Silver Bowl where we've had a klaxon. And so we don't want to hear any more of John and Jack. They've said enough on this. So listening to me and Quentin, where did I go on this? This was in the massively too hard bin for me. It was like one of them like physics exams that, because you never paid attention to like physics lessons, did you? And it was like, oh, what the fuck? And you put multiple choice answers down. Oh, we had a C for a bit. I'll put C for this answer. I actually beat the Gibbon score doing that in my physics exam. I actually beat the like law of average, which you're supposed to get like 25%, aren't you? If you 1 in 4. I never read a question, just went.
That's when you knew you had a life in punting, Lee.
I did. That's when I knew. Brought a deck of cards in and started playing Patience. So there you go. So that's what I thought to the Silver Bowl. Quentin?
It was hard. I would have been with Can Do No More. Price is kind of half heaven away for me. One I didn't like that's been well backed is Blue Lemons. Everyone's like, oh, it's got soft ground form, blah, 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 which it has. But it was off the rail and the rail played dead at Sandown that day. Thought it was well enough positioned in a steadily run race. Volterra, I think it will handle the ground, but 11 just kind of tempered enthusiasm. Celeste Battersby, similar reason. 12, like it was a hard race. If I had a token selection, it would be Can Do No More.
So Les Battersby, are you a closet comic?
Celeste Patterson, there we go.
Yeah. Shows how shit Yogurt Cannon is, right? Because I like this Blue Lemons. He had that off 93 and he went to that Woodford Reserve Kentucky Derby, whatever it is, trial. That went up £5 for finishing 6th for fuck all. Got beaten 4.5 lengths. And then, that's it. Goose now. It's missed its one opportunity to win something decent in my book.
We'll strike that tomorrow.
He's an idiot.
I think that's the place lay of the race. Yeah, that's what I'd go in the race.
Yeah, Yogurt Cannon will be over at Curragh anyway. He's not bothered about that. 150 race there. The next race at Haydock is, of course, the Betfred Temple Stakes. It used to be run at Sandown, and they switched it to this kit for some god unbeknown reason. Living the Dream is 4-1 favourite, and I know if we got our beloved Nick Davis on the show, the ICF Massive, he'd be saying, Living the Dream needs a bend. I think the 5 furlongs at Haddock on soft ground, it can't win, can it?
No. But I would ask Nick what happened at York.
He'd definitely say that this horse, it's a fast horse, round a bend, it can't get beat, can it? It's that kind of it, But I don't know, he might not say that. But then we know Nunthorpe's of the past, as long as you are out on the bunny, it doesn't really matter after that. Yeah. It's just, that's just York.
Yeah. When you win round the bend, to be fair to Nick, though.
Yeah, I just think that's the angle for the horse. I think if ever you're going to really be confident on Living the Dream,
easy 5.
Yeah, whatever it is, it's got to be an easy 5 because of his pace. I don't think he's any chance whatsoever. Batman as well, off breaks, he's not very good either, so I don't know. 203 days off, not for me. Market leader. The interesting horse for me in this is the Henry Dwyer runner from Down Under, Asphora, the mare, because obviously Aussie sprinters have to be respected. The thing for me, this has been with Amy Murphy. He stated it in a Bloodstock magazine that I read that the owner's not exactly massively wealthy, even though he's probably got a few quid. He said this is a business trip, not an holiday or a jaunt. Apparently he's been having full Englishes every day, the training up the horse. This horse is here for a summer campaign. It's going to contest all the Ascot races and everything else. So I just thought it's an interesting runner because the Aussie sprinters for me always should be respected against ours. I don't, especially in a race like this, I don't think this is the absolute best. So I'd probably take a chance with the Aussie runner with a gun to the head. Thoughts on this, chaps?
Very boring, but there's no price to be had. But Vad Dream has got to be a contender on the conditions. Really, she's a different filly on soft ground. Look at her 5 furlong form over on softer conditions, and yeah, I think a few eagle eyes, including old Butterbean earlier in the week, to his credit, tipped her at sort of 12s, 14s with the expectancy of the rain, which did come. But I think she'd be hard to beat here. I'd be against Living the Dream for what you said. Aussie's got to be respected, but typically would they be used to this conditions? Bit of a harsh first run. Rogue Lightning, they paid £1 million for that, so yeah, got to be expecting something, but I'm not completely convinced. So yeah, it would come down to Vadream for me, but I want more than 5s, but I don't know if we'd get it tomorrow, to be honest.
Safi will go blast off on equality. That's all Safi ever does. It blast off. Right? It's like, ah. John, any thoughts on this?
Yeah, fancy paying £1 million for one and leaving it with Tom Clover.
Well, Tom Clover must
Wow.
be a fucking, what do you call it? Snake? What do they call him? Snake whisperers or whatever? Snake charmers. Because he's managed to get a 75 rated Chelmsford maiden winner supplemented into the Derby, which is
He's somewhat inferior to Stella Barclay, as the records prove.
Quentin?
I'll probably take a chance on Flora of Bermuda, to be honest. It's a wild prize, 25s, 22, something like that. Impressive when winning on the the Alice Keppel on heavy ground at Goodwood. It'll be the first time she gets back on ground this deep. Better than the bare result last time out in the Cornwallis. Will she improve from 2 to 3? We will see. But you got question marks about a few of them, so it'll be small stakes.
Yeah. Okay, we move on to the Sandy Lane, which of course sees the return of Bad Beak, which you often get in northern towns. He's priced up at 8 to 11. The will leads to Bad Beak, John.
Well, he's going to prep here and then go to the Commonwealth Cup in the boring Crisford. Worse than Arsenal.
Under George Graham, yeah.
0-0.
Yeah, 0-0 or 1-0 under old George. It's a boring sort of race. I have no interest. You guys?
not really. I think small credit to the Crisfords because they're the idiot types to get carried away and run this in the Guineas. It finished 10th, come back here absolutely goosed, and try and retrieve it. But fair play. They've been somewhat sensible. But could you trust one of theirs first time up at 8 to 11? Not sure. I think the interesting one here is Inisherin. Again, weird placing for me. I thought he, obviously made the running in the Guineas, and he didn't fade away like a lot of the others did who were up at the pace. So, and looking at the pedigree, I mean, the Dam won the 10 furlong Group 1 at
wins the Jersey, doesn't he, Jack?
Could do, yeah. I just don't know why they've dropped back to 6 for this. Yeah, Dam won the trying to remember the name, Pre-Jean Romanet over 10, and he's obviously by I've lost my words there. Who's he by? Shamadal. Yeah, it's not. It doesn't scream like speedball pedigree. So I don't know.
You see what's happened there, don't you? Kev's reacted to Tom's feedback.
Yeah. Dropping back to 6.
Tom hasn't made all and pissed up in Guineas. He said, he didn't stay, governor.
Yeah, so it's a weird one. But yeah, I would.
Tom's just thinking of another Abbey, really.
He wants an Abbey, doesn't he?
He's telling Ryan to drop everything back in trip. He wants about 4 Abbey contenders to win that race as many times as anyone in history. Quentin?
8 to 11 should probably be 2s on, to be honest. Not sure Kevin Ryan's handles the ground. It looks a horse that will do well from 2 to 3. He's proven in soft ground. He's done it on the clock. Like, they've avoided the Guineas. He won't be fully tuned up for this, but he needn't have to be, to be fair. Should be shorter.
3 o'clock, obviously, me and Quentin doing the klaxon, so we shall stay quiet. And I have John and Jack anything to add to the assessment of the klaxon?
Zip's a massive standing dish here, really. I don't know why Stalker Walker's running English Oak here. I think he could have just stuck this one away for the Wokingham or something similar.
Yeah, it's a nice horse.
If I had to have a bet, I couldn't look past the Zip in the conditions.
Jacko?
Yeah, agreed. My side couldn't have the Fav. Baldemero will probably finish ahead second, as he always does. And I think Zip takes the spoils. He did win last time, to be
Yeah,
fair.
I've seen this before, though. I'll point a recent one out to you guys that also runs tomorrow. Baldemero, 3 years on it to get its head in front. And I've seen them, once they do it next time. Northcliffe, John. That was just absolutely taking piss. And then all of a sudden, he got its head in front and then won a good eat next time. As if to say, sometimes it might be they might just be a bit fragile and soft in head. And once they've done it, it's like, oh, I can do this, you know.
Connections have probably laid it or something, and then that day.
Good old cock watchers. We love them. Good judges of horses, and have certainly got good old Mick Appleby to improve plenty from other yards. We move then away from Haddock. Is that it? I think that's it, isn't it? Yeah.
One
more.
more.
Fucking hell, Haddock. They're showing worst meeting on planet. 3:30. I know why I didn't like this race, because I've got nothing to say. Law of the Sea heads the market at 4-1, so I'm leaving it to you guys.
It's a Nick Davis nope from me. No. Not interested.
Divine Comedy I like as a mare. I like the kid that's on it, Kaya Fraser. The lad seems to have been claiming forever, as if Harry Eustace has got him over a barrel and said, you fucking ride for anyone else and ride that claim out, and I'm going to kick fuck out of you. It has to be that, because the kid is really good. And still
that's probably what goes on in racing as well.
Yeah. Well, I thought Kai Fraser was a bird until about a year ago, and then I saw an interview and thought, fuck me, what's going on here?
He's improved,
He's from the ghetto, isn't he?
Yeah, the lad's class. Seriously, this jockey is seriously underused. It's like
gave up a life for a potential mag daddy to be a judge.
Quentin, let's bring it up. Is this racism in racing? The fact he's still claiming 5?
I have no fucking idea. Potentially, yeah. He's better than other jockeys that you see claiming 3 or have ridden out their claims. Maybe it is connections. Maybe it's his agent. Who knows? Like you've seen Royston French and Sean Levy do all right for their careers. So maybe he needs to put himself out there a bit more.
Yeah, change your agent, mate, and kick Harry Eustace in bollocks and fuck him off. Because
Before we move on, what about Yukon Glen, John? Is he still of interest at the grand age of 11?
It's asking because, as I pointed out, at least in 2 sets of notes, Sneaky Jim has run this fucker fit this year. It was like a cross between me and Bernard Manning first time up. Not much better second time up. Well, in fact, it was worse because he got beat further. And then there were signs of a revival last time. And he's probably looking as sleek as Jim himself now.
Yeah, Jim's lost loads.
I would not rule out a tidy run here. And Law of the Sea will make sure it's an even pace, I would have thought, which will suit the horse. 20-1, I think you can do a lot worse here because he's definitely going to be just about right now.
Sorry to interject, guys. With this in mind, and John's sort of like paddock notes, Jack bringing it up, this should be like a really good betting place market, shouldn't it, John?
I would have thought so. You'd probably get 5 pegs off Daft Fair or something.
Yeah, that could be way in here. Nice peg bet on Yukon Glen. I'm not going to be rude, but he is a bit jaded. I mean, when was the last time he actually won?
He's an 11-year-old Scottish ponce, isn't he?
The last time he won was incredibly at Sandown when he won the Gala Stakes, the listed event, back in July of 2021.
Was that the 10 furlong?
Yeah.
And
talking of not winning, Lee, Law of the Sea doesn't win enough for me at all. Last win he's had in April of 21.
Again, to plug Patreon, the legendary notes of Jonas Leng that appear every Sunday morning. He said on the 4th of August, 2023, needs a complete rebuild. Travelled nicely, then folded like a fucking cardboard box. There you go. It's summed up succinctly there by Archie.
£7.
Yeah, £7 for things like that. What more do you want? We're going to move on. We've had enough for Haddock now. We're all bored with it, surely. Unless Quentin's got anything more to say. No.
Who put up the Gobinator over hurdles in
Me,
December?
an idiot.
I quietly fancy that to run a decent race, to be honest. The ground's coming in its favour. Ran well enough here in this race last year. Not too much pace on the front end. Midge Mullen up 22-1, I think. With not loads of pace on and heavy ground. I thought you could chance your arm at that.
It's Ginger, innit? Down there, he loves that shithole and Banger. You can back them all. Anything that's sort of trying at Haydock and Banger for McCain lot.
He still remembers Red Rum having his national prep there, doesn't he, when he was a kid?
Yeah. And to be fair, I did put it up at Haydock, so there you go. Going on to the Goodwood Fair. Oh dear. Al Shabab Storm already tipped up by moi at BFSP. I mentioned the draw chaps. Blue Prince caught the eye last time, and he's very much on my radar, but I wouldn't have chose here for him to be sort of like ridden quietly and try to come through late to win. It just wouldn't be my thing to run him here, but this is what they do. They're all fucking thick. I'd like to get your opinions on this race. So, John, start us off.
Well, the Barbadian Baron seems to have everything absolutely jumping out their socks at the minute. Now, this will be the acid test, because this thing looks an absolute goner for me. Star Law. Ever since the debut win at Sandown, it's been a catalogue of disaster, really. And if he can get this thing to run something like, he could be in for a resurgent season, because this is dead to all intents and purposes.
Well, he can't win tomorrow from that draw, can it? 17.
You'd be astonished, wouldn't you?
It's the type of race that if you saw this, like, say, maybe drop right out, running through pack late into, say, fourth, it's going to tempt you to go in again, isn't it?
No, not this one. I genuinely dislike this horse.
Yeah, there you go, right.
But I just think it'll be a good test of his 82% figure that's showing in the Racing Post at the minute of horses running the front.
Yeah, the Baron on fire as we start this.
You rarely see that sort of figure.
No, they're absolutely on fire. He's definitely got some good gadgets in there at the minute, John. Clearly, doing the stuff on the gallops, because they're
possibly fed by McCarvers on the quiet.
Oh, could be. And maybe using Decron as well.
Well, that could be the thing, couldn't it?
Could be. Quentin?
Like you've mentioned the draw, I'd keep it low. The Camden Colt, to be honest, very strong in the clock. I know the form's been at Newmarket. Drying ground will suit. Form last time out's working out. Should get the perfect sort of trip through. If they go too hard, they go too hard. But these 14, 16, something like that, you've got a fairly decent claimer taking 3 off as well for an uncomplicated ride. Yeah, appeals as one that's been slightly missed by the market.
Well, I don't know. He's had the run of the races at HQ, tailwind and on the front end, and it's trained by an idiot. Jack.
Yeah, Philip Park to Foy's horse here. Newsreader is somewhat interesting, drawn well, pretty uncomplicated type. Had 3 spins at Kempton, over 7, won 2 of those, and the form somewhat checks out. I don't think 87 is it's probably not the most lenient mark in fairness, but I think he could be one that progresses this year. I quite liked what I saw from him. Sorry, he's in 2. Pretty uncomplicated ride. Will be bounced out from there, and I think he's a little bit bigger than he should be. He'll probably hit the frame.
Okay, good stuff. Right, 205 race is the height of fashion. Francesca might be dolling some fashion, and Megan, John, like, draping some fashion tips for the race. We got one.
Leona might be there in white jeans.
Hopefully.
Yeah, well, there you go. Right, you throw them in that. Right. This is serious preview time here, because I've got a strong opinion on this. Isn't this typical kilt? Yeah. Francophone runs an absolute blinder, really, in Musidora. Ran her out and sold that. Left her guts on the track. Obviously not good enough to win the Musidora, but left it all there. So Lift It Home Joe is sent down to produce the goods after a 10-day absence.
What was tragic, isn't it?
Is that an excuse so Kilt can fly his plane down there? I can fly my plane down there.
Well, that's it, isn't
He's
it?
got to have runners, hasn't he? Because he can
You'll see all the ITV mob. Weaver will be saying, "Oh, he's got the Johnstons have got a great record at Goodwood. Don't take this one lightly." I mean,
Yeah.
you can take it lightly because that was a shit Musidora.
He's not flying all this way for nothing.
Yeah, precisely. I think I don't know. I thought Regal Jubilee would have been a horse to keep on side this year, and I know she was pretty disappointing in the Guineas, but I liked that run in the Fred Darling, and I think the step up in trip will suit here. I think she was never a miler particularly, just couldn't really go the clip on Guineas Day. Long as that's not taking too much out of her, I'm not really worried about giving the 3 away here. I think she should probably be fav.
John, where are you with this?
I think there's a hell of a lot of stinking rotten fillies in this.
You're right.
And
You're right.
if I had to have a bet, I'd probably end up jumping on Regal Jubilee, and I don't really want to at the price.
Yeah.
Because if she didn't win, I'd feel an absolute tit.
Yeah.
So I'm a no. I'm a Nick Davis no.
It's a let the dog in and pay it race then.
It certainly is. Spread it on thick.
Yeah.
What was your strong opinion, Lee?
The strong opinion was Frank.
Gotcha.
How on earth can you run this filly 10 days after a Musidora? Win, lose, or draw? It can't have been in your mind to say, I know what we're going to do. We're going to run on the all-weather in April, 28th of April. Then we're going to rock up in Musidora. Then we're going to actually take in the height of fashion 10 days later. I don't get it. I know, like...
It's like you recruited a lumberjack and give him a diet of badger meat for 3 months and then asked him to be a racehorse trainer, isn't it?
Some comparison. So, Quentin, what are your thoughts on this?
I came down with Francophone, like the exact same reasons as you, but then you kind of look for the runners and I wasn't bouncing the back anything in a race, so it's just one I'm going to sit out.
Agus entered filly I like, Chorus. She's rated 79. And it's like as if to say they're all having a look to see what's going. And it's like, oh, because you can get some ridiculously weak fillies races, as we saw with the Musidora. And I wouldn't be surprised to see a boil over here, like something out of the box that you just think, oof.
Grows a leg.
Yeah, suddenly just improves massively. The fillies at the end of the day, they can be rated 80, but then they're rated 102 after they've won a listed race. So it's just the programme and what trainers seem to be doing. Right, we'll move across to York. There's 2 there on the television. And they've chose the big 5 furlong sprint handicap. Another menace of a race. Corker leads the market at 9-2. And it's a horse that I have no idea why people keep backing this, because it misses the break a hell of a lot. I know it wins, and it has, it's won at Beverley, 5 runners there. Beat Punch Bowl Flyer, 8 runners. If you miss it in a big field, you're knackered, aren't you?
Yeah. Especially earlier.
Yeah, it only wins when they go too hard up top and it's missed the kick and it picks up the pieces, really.
I don't understand why they keep backing this. It does not add up at all. I get it. Corker, it's Carlberg, 9-2, one over course and distance. Very, very good sprinter. I had no view here. I'd probably have to back Vintage Clarets if forced to have a bet, but that'd be it.
Yeah, same for me, Lee. I thought he ran pretty eye-catchingly well at Chester. Pace should be pretty strong here with the likes of Copper Knight as well in there. So wouldn't be a massive selection, but I think he'd do well. But wouldn't we all love to see Raoul win on Brooklyn 99 so we can get a nice interview after and get the King of Steel lowdown?
Yes, fuck you, Anne Duffield, and fuck you, British public, and fuck you, Edgevarian Yard, and fuck you, Ammo Racing, riding Brooklyn 99. So that'd be the interview, I hope, with the teeth out, £15,000 teeth when they come out. They're a belter. I want that to happen. Brooklyn 99, please win for the good of racing. John?
I think a little bit more of a print in the ground will really suit Manila Scout. And I think the 5 box is quite useful as well. I can see that running really well.
Yeah, I would like to see the going if I do have that in my calculations, because definitely wants a bit of print. And it'd be all right. I think it'll ride goodish. That's that kind of ground. I don't think it'd be any quickness in it tomorrow.
And also, I'm somewhat perplexed at the Midgley treatment of Lethal Nymph. This horse only ever won at 6. dropped dead last time over 6 at York from about 2 furlongs out. Here we go now. We're getting the inevitable drop to 5 furlongs, which never looked comfortable at. And this horse is absolutely free falling in the ratings since it went to Midge.
Yeah.
Started off 92, 82 tomorrow. A net £15 drop with the kids' claim on. This is going to shit up at some point somewhere, but can't see it tomorrow.
No, an idiot, really, in saddle as well. I know what you're saying. The horse is ridiculously handicapped, but Midgley's a strange one. Real strange trainer late. Sometimes they do it for him, others they just drop in it handicapped.
Straight as fuck, that.
Yeah, it's weird. Quentin?
Vintage Clarets for me, strong on the clock last time out, should get the paces side of the track. Competent jockey in the saddle. Just look the solid one out of those at the top of the market.
Yep. Right. Yeah. Move on to the Bronte. The 320. Me and Jack will stay quiet. We said River of Stars and Safety Catch for our bets. So Quentin and John to discuss this race between you.
I was with Jack, to be honest. Safety Catch improving. Thought we did really well to win from off steady fractions last time out. Wide trip for large parts of the race. Yeah, Gavi Rosebuds, didn't like that one at all. That's shorter in the market. You had, what was the favourite in that race? The Paul Cole thing that went 11-10 to like 2-1 and blew out at Goodwood. Just think Safety Catch is improving filly and overpriced at the current odds.
Sumo Sam was the horse you're on about.
Yeah.
That is the one.
So Quentin with Jack. John, can you make it a full house and go with Jack's selection with the shirt?
Well, I feel as though I'm supposed to be a bit pissed off with River of Stars and I can't remember why.
Is that because Adam Norman said it was a likeable and lovely mare?
He loves a big mare, doesn't he?
She's let me down some hours now then. She's out with an older flug, mate. So that might be interesting. There might have been something went wrong on bad ground. Probably Goodwood when Sumo Sam beat her. I bet that pissed me off something.
Yeah.
I didn't put a note in, but I was probably too insanely incensed to do anything. Yeah, I mean, she's probably got the figures to win this. Trevenance has run appallingly all season, and I'm not surprised at the drift there. She has been nowhere near a mark in 3 runs, and you'd have to wonder what the fuck's going on there. Really, I couldn't put anybody off Safety Catch.
Yeah, 3Bs against my bet. I don't blame you all. I'm in dreadful form. You bastard. What about our darling...
What about Marie's Rock for Popeye?
What's that doing in here?
What about our darling Rachel coming over, John?
Is she Scottish?
Well, she had one to try later on, isn't she?
Oh, darling.
Yeah, she's coming over for Hogmanay.
Burns night, isn't it?
Regardless of what happens with R2, Lee, I'm really looking forward to seeing Bent Jim trying to settle Marie's Rock over this kind of with this mob. That'll be quite funny because she's keen as anything over the sticks, and I think she's shit. So that'll be quite amusing, to be honest.
Okay, we'll move on. Seeing you've all blitzed me there with your Safety Catch. Fuck you and your Safety Catch. I'm going to do you all tomorrow. Right, we'll go on to the Irish Guineas to finish the show. And I'm going to start us off. We'll talk about the Yoghurt Cannon, Rosalien, and Sean's gone over there to ride it. However, despite the ground probably in the horse's favour, and I'm not saying he won't win or anything, there is something strange at the Curragh tomorrow. We've got a headwind, which is very unusual because it blows from the west. So with the headwind, it will suit the cover it's going to get. John, I know for a fact you're worried about this horse at the trip. You think this is probably better over 7, etc., etc. Or is that not a concern tomorrow? Do you think this just bounds clear once it's out in the open? But then again, with the tailwind, I suppose then it suits the front end, doesn't it? And then he wouldn't have made the running. So guide me on this. Is a headwind a good thing for Rosalien tomorrow to blunt the front end? Or is it a bad thing in terms of getting the trip?
I would rather there was no wind. Because unless he's getting to him easy, which I don't think he will. I don't think he's that much in front of some of they. I think he could get worried out of it if it gets a bit tough in the last 100 yards. You know, I'm not convinced he sees it out properly.
The mile of the Curragh is not a stiff mile usually because when the westerly blows, it blows them home, and that's why you get the front end doing fantastic. But when it's in the faces, it becomes then a stiff mile because obviously the last.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to be trunking along, aren't they? I mean, Super Deck will be making a pace here, only on Mountain Bear, you'd have thought.
Yeah, we see Rosallion as more of a 7 furlong horse than on what we've seen. But I'm gonna have a different view. Quentin, coming to you on the race.
I wouldn't be trying to get him pre-play, given how he goes through his races. I would chance my arm at putting in some skinny lays at, I don't know, 5s on, 4s on, something like that. You know he's going to go through the race well, and I don't think he sees out a mile thoroughly. He may well see it out well enough against this opposition, given he's got race fitness on his side. But you know he's going to go there. He'll trade short. Maybe back him and then lay him off if you want to play it that way. But I wouldn't be having a straight up bet on him. No.
Yeah, Jack.
Look, I think this is bounce potential for me. Look at the way his have been running. 3 notable ones at Sandown yesterday all ran like drains. I think it's typical skitter scatter planning. They said straight after the Guineas, "Oh, we'll hold this back for the SJP." Lo and behold, they turn up here trying to strike whilst the iron's hot. Paddock man at Newmarket said this looked fit as can be for the Guineas. You know, is this really what the horse wants? As trip concerns for me. I can just see this bouncing, to be honest with you. It's not one I want to side with at all. I'd prefer his other runner, if I'm being honest. That looks like a hardy colt who, takes his racing pretty well. He's ran 2 really good races this year. He's one of them that can be kind of, dropped in, or he can run up with the pace and runs his race. So I know we got Spencer on board this time, but I'd prefer Hartem, if I'm being honest. I think River Tiber as well, you'd have trip concerns about. So it's a really open race, and I don't think it's a vintage Irish 2000, if I'm being honest.
Did 8 I fancy unquestionable each way, you know.
Yeah, look, he ran a great race at Breeders'
So
Cup.
was it the trip.
You know, I'd just be against the fav here. I'd be looking for something else. I don't quite know what, but yeah, might be simple as Quentin said.
I agree with you on River Tiber, Jack. I don't think he's supposed to get on either.
No.
I mean, Artem's like the Claude Duval, like of the horse racing world, in that like Claude Duval never missed a Buffy, Hartem's never missed a dance, John.
He certainly hasn't.
No. Hardy is the word used by Jack for Hartem. Hardy for the Yoggurt Cannon and Frank Spencer in the saddle.
You usually go missing by about August, please, don't.
We're not bouncing on Rosallion anyway. I think that's the consensus of all of us, as outlined there. Good show, chaps. Very, very good to do. We're back on Sunday as always. Myself, John, and Chris talking absolute rubbish, but that's why you listen. It's entertaining for a bit anyway. That's all from us. Bye for now.